We've heard about some pretty terrible changes so far to the Cowboy Bebop live action series from Netflix. Gender swaps, outfit changes, and narrative changes, and we've even seen Faye's actress come out and attack fans who were disappointed with the news we've gotten so far. But of course, now more people that are part of the project are coming forward trying to defend the changes because the showrunner is spewing more nonsense about the changes they're making in this. I mainly want to read this Bounding into Comics article, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month or supporting via memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So, it says showrunner for Netflix's live-action Cowboy Bebop says Faye Valentine's updated costume felt like it was telling the story of that character in the best way possible, which is absolute nonsense. According to Andre Nemec, the showrunner for Netflix's upcoming adaptation of Cowboy Bebop, the various changes being made to the series in its translation to live action, including Faye Valentine's toned-down costume, have been done in pursuit of living in the spirit of the anime. As you're going to see throughout this article, they try to defend all of the changes in the worst ways possible. They're saying things like, oh, we are trying to stay in the spirit of the anime, but at the same time, we have to make changes for people that are part of new audiences and the modern audiences. We need to make changes that feel real for 2021. It says, as explained by Nemec during a recent interview with Polygon held in its promotion of his upcoming attempt at bringing Cowboy Bebop to live action, during the series production, we would look at sets, we would look at props, we would look at costumes, we would look at the edits, we would talk about all of these things not to ape the anime, but to live in the spirit of the anime. And usually that wouldn't be a bad comment to make because we ultimately want them to live in the spirit of the anime. We want them to do good by the anime, but at the same time, we already know they're making a ton of changes to this series. It says we put a pretty extensive and expansive list together, and we spent a lot of time really looking at the inspirations he added, citing films such as The Big Sleep, 2001: A Space Odyssey, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and even The Crow, just as some of the series' aforementioned inspirations. It says, worryingly, he then boasted that the team spent considerable time considering how much they could build out the continuing stories of Spike and Jet and Faye, while also mining their past stories from the anime, before poorly attempting to assuage fans' fears over the series by promoting, much to the dismay of any fan who recognizes that mere references do not equate to good writing, how the live-action series would give continual nods to the original anime. Now, I do really love Cowboy Bebop. I've talked about it a couple of times here on the channel, and I was initially looking forward to this series. Did I think they were going to do justice by the original anime? Not necessarily, but I was hoping it was going to be at least a half-decent product. But this is the problem, okay? When they're taking an already existing franchise, an already existing story and show, and they're trying to adapt it into a live-action form because they're not trying to stay as close to the original product as possible, they're taking bits and pieces they think they can work with, and then they're twisting them to fit their own narrative, to push their own ideas, to do basically whatever they feel like they can do with this franchise. They're not trying to stay as close to the original product as possible. They're trying to make it, new and refreshing, and they're trying to take a modern twist on Cowboy Bebop, which isn't what fans want. So, turning to the characters themselves, Nemec claimed that the cast as depicted in the anime were archetypal in their poetry, as opposed to the main actors now like Daniela Pineda and John Cho, who he believes, as noted by Polygon, bring even greater dimension to the trio, presenting himself as a perfect example of Hollywood's asinine belief that a story cannot be taken seriously unless it's adapted to live action by a Western studio, which I think is absolutely ridiculous to say. After briefly praising Cho and Shakir's respective portrayals of Spike and Jet, Nemec next turned to discuss Pineda's versions of Faye Valentine, whose character the showrunner summarizes as a survivor. It becomes undeniable that she has this incredible effervescence, a quick wit, a wonderful charm, but she also has a kind of take no prisoners, kick him in the teeth underbelly to her. She has a strength and power, even though she doesn't lead with that power. To me, that's what it meant to capture Faye Valentine. Now, this tells me that the new Faye Valentine has zero sex appeal when original Faye did, and that was part of her character. They might be trying to tell the story of Faye the survivor, but I don't know why she also can't be attractive at the same time. I hate the way that Hollywood views strong women now, because it's like strong women can't also be sexy, which is pathetic. Speaking to Pineda's costume, which replaces Faye's iconic yellow racing top and shorts with a red jacket and a pair of diamond pattern tights, Nemec explained that the team put her in a dozen different designs, tweaked them a dozen different times until we landed on the one that felt like it was telling the story of the character in the best way possible for us. Now, there are the keywords. The best way possible for us. Are they telling this story for themselves or for the fans? This is supposed to be a retelling of the anime for the fans, representing and paying homage to the source material, and it looks like it's disrespecting the source material and spitting on it. They're taking a shell of the characters and the story and changing all of the details. Just go and write something new. Just create a new IP instead of taking this one and twisting it around. I know they're afraid if they create something new it won't catch on, so they'd rather take the name of something popular and hopefully older fans will show up to watch it, but clearly you can't create something new that people will watch. Why should we have faith in these people to take Cowboy Bebop and make something good out of it? They're only worried about what they want, not what fans want, or respecting the original source material here. It says, Nemec next addressed the absence of the crew's resident hacker, Radical Edward, from the series' promotional material, exclaiming, "Ed, everyone wants to know about Ed." Of course, everyone wants to know about Ed. This is an important character that you've said nothing about. I am genuinely afraid of what they're going to do to Ed and what political posturing they're going to present with Ed. Ed is a girl. She might be a tomboy and present some fluid aspects, but she is still a girl. I feel like they're gonna take this character, blow that up, and really run with it. Ed is an oddball, and I think they're gonna run with that and twist it around instead of just representing the original character. Insultingly, in conclusion to his interview, he asserted that the greatest part about being able to work on this was that we knew we were being invited to play in somebody else's sandbox, and that sandbox was very generous in saying to us, "You tell your story," despite the original creator stating in a 2019 interview that he had only read Netflix's initial concept and provided my opinions. However, he did not actually invite anyone to play in his sandbox, as he explained in that same interview. "For Cowboy Bebop, I don't have any right to stop it. Those rights are in the hand of Sunrise, so if you have a complaint, please send it to them." He actually said he gave them a ton of feedback, gave them a ton of, of his opinions as to what they could do with the series, and he doesn't even know if they're going to listen to that or respect what he had to say at all, which really sucks to hear about, because you would think if you had the original creator of something giving his input, you would listen to that and you would care about it, but it doesn't really sound like the people behind the Netflix live action care about his input. I love Cowboy Bebop, and I really hope this comes out and it's amazing, but so far it doesn't sound like it's going to be. We're hearing about gender swaps, race swaps, original narratives, and we are not hearing about the essence of Cowboy Bebop. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.